Last week, two West Coast legends dropped a collaborative track, Locksmith and Crooked, or King Crooked. They dropped the track Blasphemy, and this isn't the first time that the two have collabed, but it's the latest collab. And recently, Locksmith's just been on this run of working with these West Coast legends. Like, I know he has another track out there with Rascass and Exhibit, so he's staying busy. But anyways, he dropped this track Blasphemy last week. Let's go bar for bar and break down these lyrics. So it starts off with an intro. He's 6 feet down, he's 6 feet down. He only comes around when he wants to get down. But when he comes out of his hole, he sounds something like this. This is like sampling the Ohio Players song, Funky Worm. And also the instrumental is sampling that song as well. Then we get into Locksmith's verse, and he goes, yo, hit him in his arm, leg, arm, head, blasphemer. Arm, leg, arm, head, blasphemer. From Black Jesus to Bathsheba, you rap divas only seen success cause you suck breath and dispatch demons. I'm the lethal virus. I'm the black Persian dispersing sermons through the desert, fuck Leonidas. I don't believe in titans, a mystery Greek rescience, in need of a reassignment. You leave when I reach for my pen, the Pentecostal of the pen and gospel, the new inoculum. Adjusting my flow, we can't speak just cause you just a capo. It's just a thought though. What if you bitches spent just as much time on your rhymes as studying Lock 4? The fishbowl I was rowing in has eroded him, so I wrote it in a stoic grin, cause I won't pretend, I won't amend what is meant to be broken, mentally loathen. Lo and behold, stay afloat while you sinking below him. Bestowing these stonings and throwing his life in these poems, and pouring his strife in these quotes, but under the knife of no one. A known threat to the threshold that your chest holds. A gesture of dissent you sent this way, an obsessed whole. The sole extension of what I wrote is convictions of what I know is conditions that brought forth cause the flesh tone. Etched in stone, each breath is a sketch of psalm, conversation elixir, a scripture when death is prone. Starting from the beginning, hit him in his arm, leg, arm, head. Take the first letter of each one of those words, you get Allah, which can very well play into this blasphemy idea because that's not the Christian way. From Black Jesus to Bathsheba, he's basically saying, like, following a line, essentially. So Black Jesus is kind of just like what everyone really should be thinking of Jesus as, because he probably was black. And going from that to Bathsheba. Bathsheba was a queen to Uriah the Hittite, and then later on was basically made the wife of King David, and then she gave birth to King Solomon, who's been in pretty much every sort of one of the three major Bible related religions, you can say. Like King Solomon and King David come into play in, well, all three: Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. So it's kind of important that he said that here. Basically saying, like, everyone in this range, like, basically saying, calling everyone in, saying, like, yo, there's all this connection here. Like, we're all connected somehow. You rap divas only seen success because you suck breath and dispatch demons. Rap divas, I'm thinking he's talking about, is basically everyone in the music industry that is more popular. And they're just kind of talking out the ass. Like, not really saying anything that is of substance. At least when in Locksmith's eyes. Basically, the demons that they're dispatching are just random stuff they talking. Like, nothing of real substance. And it could be seen more negative because, like, the demons in general are seen as a negative thing. So when you are dispatching demons, you're basically sending out these demons into the world. You could be saying that you rap divas are saying these negative things and putting them out into the world, which could be seen as him talking about their effect on rap, you could say. When you have all these rappers talking about these very stereotypical things like money, cars, women, like, these are things that the general public are just going to look at and be like, yo, rap ain't shit. I'm the lethal virus. He's comparing himself to a virus. Like, he will murder people, but this is more of a rap game murder. Like, he will out-rap most people. I'm the black Persian dispersing sermons through the desert, fuck Leonidas. This plays into a couple of things because Locksmith is half black and half Persian. His father was Persian. This plays into the Leonidas line because, I mean, although Leonidas was a pretty successful person, in his own right, considering he only had those 300 Spartans. He may have gotten a little bit too greedy and he died 2 Persians. Maybe he's just saying like, yo, like me as a Persian is better than Leonidas. Basically what he's saying is he's describing himself as a person that's dispersing sermons through the desert. Sermons can be seen as a couple ways, really. Like, typically it's seen religiously. So he's basically telling people how to live, and not really. Like, he's just kind of spreading knowledge, I'd say. Because religion seems too, like, focused in. Like, I don't think that's what Locksmith is going for. I think he's going for a more of a general statement with that, which is still kind of focused in because his sermons are probably about rap and just kind of being aware of what's going on around you. Like, less religious focused, but more spiritual focused, you could say. I don't believe in Titans, a mystery Greek or science. In need of a reassignment. When you leave, I reach for my pen. The Pentecostal, the new inoculum. So him saying he doesn't believe in the Titans, the Greek story of the Titans, is kind of him saying like he doesn't believe everything he reads, or he doesn't necessarily believe myths, which could also play into stuff going on around him personally. And it also does make sense for the next line, because he's like, okay, well, these myths and stories are so long gone, they need a reassignment, which could be him saying they need to be reclassified so that they're not seen as these things that we really focus on. Or there needs to be a rewriting of sorts. That's why he reaches for his pen. And you leave when he reaches for his pen, because he's just going to say some stuff that you might not want to hear, but like it's crazy and you should probably hear it. Or it could be him just talking about rapping. Like when he reaches for his pen, other rappers they just leave the room because they know that they can't really keep up. It could just be him being braggadocious about it. The Pentecostal, the pen and gospel. The Pentecostal is like it's a branch of Christianity, but it basically is comparing that to the pen and gospel. So like his writings. Basically what he's saying here is that he's writing these things that are going to be seen and studied almost as much as religion. What he's writing is so holy that it will be perceived as religion almost. The new inoculum. Inoculum is like an immunity, or like a way to build an immunity. It's a way of building an immunity by exposing yourself to something that would normally cause you harm. Basically, he's saying these writings are going to make you immune to certain things. I think he's probably just going to be talking about like, once you hear and understand my lyrics, it's going to be hard for you to go back to what you used to listen to. Adjusting my flow, we can't speak you because you're just a capo. So my understanding of this is that, so a capo is one of the leaders in a gang, you could say. So him saying that we can't speak because you just a capo makes it sound like he's a much higher up level. So if you compare this to the rap game, he's saying that he's at a higher tier than most people who are just a capo. Like, you might be popular, but you don't have the skills to reach his level. So we can't really talk. He would have to adjust his flow to talk to you, and he's not going to do that. What if you dudes spend as much time on your rhymes as studying Lock 4? It won't amend what is meant to be broken, mentally loathen. He's not going to fix things that are meant to be broken. So he could be talking about rules. He's not going to adjust or change rules if they are meant to be broken. Or it could just be him talking about distancing himself from other people, like relationship-wise. Like, if this relationship is meant to be broken, he's not going to try to fix it. Mentally loathing, like, that makes sense, because then it could be talking about the people involved. Maybe he's just like, no, I ain't trying to fix this now. You already burned your bridge. Bestowing these stonings and throwing his life in these poems, and pouring his strife in these quotes, but under the knife of no one. These stonings, which is typically done to anything that is blasphemous back in the day. So you're throwing stones at someone, and it's actually still happening, which is kind of really unfortunate. But it's also just kind of a play on, like, he is bestowing these stonings, meaning he's the one that is allowing these stonings to happen, or he's the one doing the stonings, and he's using the stonings as a way to throw his life into these poems. He's throwing bits and pieces of his life into his rhymes, and pouring his strife in these quotes, but under the knife of no one. So yeah, he's talking about everything that's going on with him, but he's not under anyone's knife because he is his own person, or he's independent. Like, if you're a rapper and you're independent, you typically can rap about whatever you want to rap about. You don't have to stick to whatever the label wants you to rap about. Yeah, I think that's all I have for Locksmith's verse. So this then goes into the chorus, which is a bit of the same from the beginning, but it goes, hit him his arm, leg, arm, head, blasphemer. I represent the West, the new Black Medina, stomping into my brand new chucks, middle finger to you lawless fucks. Hey, y'all know what's up. Arm, leg, arm, head, blasphemer. I represent the West Coast, Black Medina, stomping into my brand new chucks, middle finger to you lawless fucks. Y'all know what's up. There's not a whole lot to break down here, but he's representing the West, which is the new Black Medina. Medina is a holy city in Saudi Arabia, I believe. So he's comparing the West Coast to the holy city. And then stomping his brand new chucks, I believe, is an Ice Cube reference. This then goes into King Crooked's verse. Talking West Coast legends, ain't no way you can leave me out. Put that on my dear mama, I was chilling in a Feeney's house. Never be another Tupac for sure, but I'm from the city of Crips, a bunch of blue pac. Shakur's, hear me out. Raps attract green cause I pack 'em with chlorophyll. So much green I know how campers who lamp in the forest feel. You whack and ignoring skill. Crook be rapping about his blackness with the passion of Lauryn Hill. But I'm strapped with my Taurus steel. Get clapped, war is real. You mad cause my city's on. I Kaepernick any song, make the track and chorus kneel. Let my hammer click like a magical amulet. You vanish in an ambulance. I managed to stand on the corner still. I'm the goat blasphemer, why you hating the son of God? I'm the ancient Egyptian that designated the sun to God. I'm antediluvian, I move with the Nubians. Black Jew is in a synagogue, you pussy as menopause. My AR-15 started talking to me, shocked as fuck. Grew some legs and started walking to me. Hopped in my lap, said, ain't you tired of cops killing blacks? You should use me to go and shoot an officer off of duty. Nah, I know they mad, they hate to see a thug shining. Death row chain, the only time I wore blood diamonds. Contributions to the West. You wondering what's mine? Too short, brought pimpin', I brought the heavy punchlines. So Crook's verse starts off with him saying, yo, if you're talking about West Coast legends, you can't leave me out. He's a legend in his own right. Put that on my dear mama, I was chilling in a Feeney's house. That is a Tupac reference. Tupac wrote Dear Mama, and his mother's name is Afeni. And he was chilling in Afeni's house at some point. There'll never be another Tupac, for sure. So that's kind of a play on Tupac Shakur. For sure, Shakur. It's close enough that it sounds like it could be like a double entendre. I'm from the city of Crips, a bunch of blue pac Shakurs. He's from Long Beach, the city of Crips. And there's a bunch of blue pac Shakurs. What I took from that is a lot of people with the mindset of Tupac that just are Crippin', kind of like Snoop Dogg. Like Snoop Dogg is one of those legends from Long Beach that represents Crip pretty heavily. But I also took it as just people are really thinking a lot about like how Tupac would do things. So although they Crippin', they also have that in their mind. I kind of attribute that a little bit to like Nipsey Hussle. At least that's kind of where my mind went to originally, but Nipsey is not from Long Beach. But I guess they're close enough that you could say that. That's a bit of a stretch though. Rappers attract green because I pack them with chlorophyll. So much green, I know how campers who lamp in the forest feel. So raps attract green, meaning his raps just in general, or his raps are attracting money. Like he's getting money off of these raps. And that's only because he packs his raps with chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is what gives leaves like that green substance. Or appearance, not substance. He's basically saying these raps that he writes are packed with chlorophyll. So they're already packed with a lot of green, which could be seen as knowledge. Because of that, they're attracting money. Because I don't think he's like, people can obviously think that this is like a weed line, but I don't think Crook smokes anymore, or if he ever did. I mean, I know he smokes cigars, but not weed. Plus, it does just make more sense because it seems like he's just talking about like a more thoughtful thing because he started off saying, hear me out. So it's not going to be something more surface level like a weed bar. So much green, I know how campers who lamp in the forest feel. Basically saying he's got so much money now, like he knows how people who go out camping feel because they're surrounded by green. I Kaepernick any song, make the track and the chorus kneel. Basically, I mean, that's a line directly to Colin Kaepernick, who was kneeling during the national anthem and has no longer been in the NFL. He's basically saying, though, that he's going to make this track and the chorus kneel to him because with his bars, he's going to basically make this track his bitch. But it could also just be like a sign of respect, you could say, because when you kneel to someone, you're showing some sort of respect. So it could be like he's making the track respect him, or he's just respecting the track too, and it's like a on both ends sort of respect. I'm the goat, blasphemer, why you hating the son of God? I'm the ancient Egyptian that designated the son to God. So this could be a couple things. So him saying he's the goat is kind of blasphemous, you could say. Because if you say you're the greatest of all time, where does that put God? But then it's also like him saying, or talking to someone, yo, I'm the goat. You a blasphemer. Why you hating on the son of God, which is him. So basically he's saying, yo, what is you talking about? These dudes ain't the goat. I am. Like, I am the son of God. How you hating on me? He flips it a little bit with the line, I'm the ancient Egyptian that designated the sun to God. Basically talking about the sun god, Ra. So basically he's making himself be seen as Ra. I'm antediluvian, I move with the Nubians. So antediluvian is just this period in time before the biblical floods, you could say. Yeah, so like right in between the floods, or where Noah built his ark and stuff. It could also just be seen as him being old-fashioned. But he says he's antediluvian, meaning from that era, he moves the Nubians, which can be seen as Africans. So he like resides in that time before all this, I guess, whitewashing happened. He could also just be talking about the brand Nubians, because that was a time in between rap. But I'm not entirely sure. My AR-15, it started talking to me, shocked as fuck, grew some legs, and started walking to me, hopped in my lap and said, ain't you tired of cops killing blacks? You should use me to go shoot an officer off of duty. Nah. Crook basically is acknowledging what's happening currently. It's always been a thing, but it's becoming way more public knowledge that cops are killing black people. He has his gun on his side, and he's thinking about it, but he's like, no, it's not worth it. Like, that's kind of what they want you to do. Like, they want you to go kill a cop. Like, that's probably not the best move. I know they hate to see a thug shining, which is, again, in reference to those cops. Or we're just people who are racist in general. Like, they assume black people are thugs, so they hate to see a thug succeed. Death row chain, the only time I wore blood diamonds, contributions to the West. You wondering what's mine? Too short bought pimpin', I brought the heavy punchlines. So he was signed to death row back in the day. Nothing really happened. And death row, I believe, was a little bit more blood influenced. Seeing as he's from a Crip neighborhood or city, there is a little bit of conflict, you could say. But the way I took it was him saying blood diamonds blood diamonds are typically these not properly sourced diamonds, let's say. So it's more of like a war diamond, you could say. But he's saying war diamond or blood diamond because death row doesn't necessarily have the best track record in terms of how they treat their artists. So it's kind of weird. It's like you got this chain with these diamonds in it, but it's like, ooh, I don't think I want to be here. This is not good. And then it goes back into the chorus, which is the same as earlier. And that's about it. This track was pretty good. The whole concept of the track is basically the blasphemous things. It's less of a religious thing, I would say, and more of a going against the grain sort of thing. Because both Locksmith and Crooked are rappers who will go against the grain of mainstream rap, let's say. Because mainstream obviously has a sound which everyone's aware of. I don't have to explain that. But lyricisms and punchlines aren't really a focus in that. Yeah, basically what they're saying is what they're doing is blasphemous in the eyes of mainstream audiences. But yeah, overall, the track was really good. I'm sure I missed a lot of things because Locksmith and Crooked are very lyrically focused artists. So there's probably more into it that I missed. So please let me know if I missed anything in the comments below or if I misinterpreted anything. Also, like and subscribe if you want to see more breakdowns and content like this. With that said, thank you for watching and please stay safe out there.